Okay, good morning all. I'm going to kick the presentation off now. I'm going to start off just with some introductions. So myself, I'm Kevin Lee, Sales Director at Amillan, and I'm just going to go through a brief overview of Amillan and what we're about, a little bit about our capability, and then we've got one of our key vendors from HP Aruba, Ollie McRitchie, on, who's really going to go through the Instant On solutions for small to medium businesses. We'll open up questions as we go, so just add them into the chat, and we'll pick those up at the end and follow through with those. So just kicking off, who are we? So Amillan, we're a managed service provider, a very long history of reliable and high quality services, and we've been around for 40 odd years. And I'll cover a little bit later on our key sort of what I call our practices and capabilities. We build on expertise and customer services, and we've got a very large, loyal customer base covering both public and private sector, and sitting from small, medium business up to very, very large corporates and very, very large sort of government and university type customers. We're very service driven and we're strong focus on meeting customer needs. So our drive is always around what we need to do to meet business needs for yourselves, and make sure that what we do, we're doing for the right reasons and not delivering technology for technology's sake. And we're very flexible. We're not a massive organization, but because of our size, we can be far more flexible, providing sort of more bespoke and adaptive type solutions. And we are committed to customer services. Customer service to us as an organization is number one, and building their long-term relationships that we do with our customers is second to none. Realistically, our aim is to sort of keep customers, and once you guys come on board with us, we've got many of them that have been with us over 20 odd years, and we're still supporting them today. So really just going to talk briefly just about our capability today. This is probably the key pillar that we're really talking about around local area networks and wireless LAN. But on the back of that, we do a lot of cabling infrastructure, which is where our business really kicked off in the sort of 40 years ago. And also, covering this sort of area in the networking pillar is anything around, delivering network services, coming from the traditional ISDN to today's SIP type solutions, and delivering network capability around sort of SD-WANs and previously MPLS type services. But we'll go into the networking piece in a lot more detail with Ollie. Unified communications is a very strong practice and pillar for us, delivering from the early days of TDM to IP today, and what we tend to talk about more around unified communications. So we have a number of solutions around the unified communications area, as well as legacy telephony, and a large Microsoft practice where we deliver Microsoft Teams. And today we're starting to deliver far more sort of UCaaS type solutions, so unified communications as a service, the typical Microsoft Teams type solutions, or with our partner Evolve IP, looking at more Cisco and WebEx type availability. Contact center is the third key pillar for us, from traditional on-premise to today's contact center as a service, and providing all multimedia, full omni-channel contact center solutions as a service, and not just on-premise. And really, what's probably more interesting, which is getting a lot of feedback today, is talking about what we do in AI. So looking at sort of moving organizations back from sort of conversational AI to more generative AI type solutions. Very interesting comment around AI is expected to be bigger than the World Wide Web is. And, that's been going for, a good 25, 30 years now. So interesting where AI is going to take us in the future, and something we've got to buy into today. Just a quick a thought process for me, really, talking about paradigm shifts and new world solutions. So what is a paradigm shift? So really it represents a change in thinking or a radical move that affects business. And change is always something that people don't like to do, whether it's technological advances or radical new ways of doing things. Change is key to this, and trying to get organizations to accept change is always a are difficult, especially people as well, getting that change over. So why is this relevant to us? Well, customers and your customers want to contact you, and the way they contact you has changed. It's different today as to what it was in the past. The solutions and service we deliver now always on. People work 24/7, work in different hours in different ways. Your customers work in a more hybrid world, as do we, delivering those services. So we have to adapt and change the way we deliver them type of services today. And realistically, our work-life balance has changed. The way we work and the way we have to deliver services to meet that work is really key. And to be honest, if the challenge we face today doesn't scare us, then it's probably not that important. So, these challenges are key, and I think we have to take them on and accept that change in the right way. And on that note, I'm going to pass over to Ollie, where we're going to talk a lot more about the underpinning infrastructure that supports a lot of these services. It's something that we tend to look at and tend to ignore, but if we don't have the right wireless networks, we don't have the correct data infrastructure, we can't deliver some of these services and some of the new world solutions and start working in, with more AI type technologies. So with that note, I'll introduce you to Ollie and let you take the screen, Ollie.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kevin. And yes, good morning, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Ollie McCritchie, and I've been running the SMB business for HPE Aruba Networking over the past 3.5 years. And a massive part of that is a brand that's been around for just over 5 years now, and it's our HPE Networking Instant On brand. And it's a pleasure to be able to present it to you today. So without further ado, I will grab the share button off you, Kev, and hop into the presentation. So just want to check, because I am on the one screen here, I'll just split this up 2 seconds, that you can see that all okay?
Yep, I can see it, Ollie, so I'm guessing everyone else can.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. So, what actually is HPE Networking Instant On? Well, 99% of the world's organizations are SMBs, and in the modern day environment, a network is a necessity. But there are some major challenges for SMBs within the modern environment, right? To start, they have limited in-house technical expertise, limited number of individuals that have experience in the organization configuring and deploying, let's say, highly complex networks, right? There's a limited number of those within the standard small to medium businesses. Budget efficiencies, a network is a necessity and you need a high performing network, but these smaller organizations don't have the same scale budgets as the larger ones that can really go and afford that top level of performance. Security concerns. 50% of cybersecurity attacks are actually on small to medium businesses. And so security really remains a top priority no matter your size. A dynamic environment with constant new technologies coming into the environment, constant changes within the modern day. You really need to be at the top of your game and adapting with the change. And so what HPE Aruba Networking saw, a leader in networking, working on the likes of the Ryder Cup, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Gatwick Airport, we saw that there was a real opportunity to leverage our enterprise grade technology and put it into a small business package where simplicity is the absolute backbone. And so that's what led to the birth of HPE Networking Instant On, essentially a simple, smart, secure, cloud-managed networking solutions for small to medium businesses. And as I said, the brand's been around for just over 5 years now, and it's a pleasure to be able to present it to you today. So what is HPE Networking Instant On all about? Well, to start, as I've already touched on, simplicity is the absolute backbone. You can have your HPE Networking Instant On network deployed and running in the space of a few minutes. I think the fastest one we managed to get was the same time as making a cup of coffee. You can manage the Instant On network either online on our online cloud portal or from our free mobile application, where you have a common user interface between the two. So it's not like because you're logging in online that you can make more configuration changes than the app. You can make the same changes across the board. So you really have that consistency. Built-in security. So all of the products have the latest security standards. They are WPA3 authenticated. And so you know that the technology and the security is not going to go down on you. Superb performance. I've touched on the fact that HPE Aruba Networking are a leader in enterprise technology, and they wanted to take it into that small business package. So if you look at the access points themselves and the switches, all of that investment, all of the research and development that has gone into those enterprise products has been transitioned into this small business portfolio. So you know that even at the small to medium business level, you really have the highest performing technology within the market. Value and flexibility. So the cloud portal is completely free. There are no additional costs, no subscription costs, no license fees, nothing. Once you purchase the hardware, the software is included completely for free. And finally, trusted vendor. HP Aruba Networking has been around for over 20 years. HP from very back in the day before they acquired has been going since 70 plus years. We have a huge organization, huge amount of support available. So if you do have any challenges, we're not going to leave you behind, and there will be the support in place to give you what you need. Now, there are a couple of key points that I just wanted to highlight with HPE Networking Instant On that also differs from our enterprise portfolio. So here, when we're talking around SMBs, we're really looking up to around a 250 employee limit. If you're looking at anything above that, you'd then be looking at our enterprise portfolio. Now, on your cloud portal, which, as I said, comes completely for free, you have a 125 networking device limit per site. So what we mean by that is that you can have a combination of up to 125 access points and switches per site. So let's say, for example, 100 access points and 25 switches. However you want to deploy it, however you want to manage it, that is your networking device limit. And on the cloud portal itself, we understand you might be managing multiple sites. You can have a 500 site limit on the cloud portal. So with that software being included completely for free and those limits available, we like to think that you can really get up to those, lowest medium-sized business within the environment. So just wanted to set the standards and sort of the development that you're looking at with this brand. So without further ado, let's take a look at the wireless portfolio that we have available. So as you can see here, there are currently 6 access points within the wireless portfolio. And as you go from left to right here, your features and functionality are increasing, such as your throughput, data rates, devices per access point, but so does your price point as well. So if we take, for example, the AP22, the second one from the left there, you're looking at around 75 devices per access point. It has around 1.7 gigabits per second throughput. You're really looking at a standard classroom deployment with that 2x2 access point. As I said, as you go from left to right, your features and functionality increase. So if we jump to the AP25, the access point in the middle there, and the final one of the indoor APs, here you have your 4x4 AP with 3 times the throughput. So really getting up into those use cases where you have a greater demand on your network, with also a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet uplink port as well. So really looking at perhaps peak areas like dining rooms, reception, really where you're going to be getting those greatest number of clients on your network that are going to be driving the greatest amount of demand. We do have one Wi-Fi 6E access point in the range as well, which is the AP32, which is a tri-band dual radio access point. So on this one, you can run a 6 gigahertz channel, 5.2, to depending on what your demand for your network is, and you can configure that in the software, which I will show you a little bit later. Again, that one having a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet uplink port. As we move over to the desk-mounted access point, so here is your all-in-one connectivity AP, because it also acts as a switch as well. So you have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet uplink port with also two 1 gigabit Ethernet downlink ports that actually can provide you PoE capability as well. So if you were choosing to use the one port, you would get 30 watts of PoE capability, but if you're using the two ports, then you would have 15 watts per port. So you really do have your all-in-one connectivity AP there, really good for the likes of perhaps professional offices and hospitality use cases. And bringing it all together, we do have an outdoor access point as well. So you do have full range, not just indoor, but outdoor as well, with our AP27, a really ruggedized access point with an IP67 rating that works simultaneously with the other APs within the portfolio. So if you're looking at, for example, let's say an outdoor bar area, a school playground, a patio, and you need that connectivity, we have the AP within our solution to do that. All of the access points, as I said, work simultaneously together with our smart mesh capability, so they don't have to be like for like. You also have automatically configured adaptive radio management and client match technology as well. So we really want to take away the heavy lifting from yourselves and already have that automatic configuration within the software. So it really drives that simplicity factor, as I spoke around at the start of the presentation. This is a very text-heavy slide, I know, but the slides will be coming out to yourselves afterwards as well. It just gives you a little bit of additional detail as to what I was talking about. As you said, going from left to right, your throughput increases and the capabilities per AP, but so would your price point as well. But that's just a nice little summary screenshot for what it is. We won't go into too much detail. I've already kind of covered it, and it will just be available for you at the end with the slides. So obviously we've done the wireless side of the portfolio, but of course we have the wired side as well. So we have 4 switch families available within the HPE Networking Instant On portfolio. And similar to the access points, as you go from left to right here, your features and functionalities increase, but so does your price point as well. So start on the left, the 1430 series is our only unmanaged product family within the Instant On range. So you would not be seeing those switches on your cloud portal, but then they also wouldn't be included in your site device limit as well. Moving on to the smart managed switches, we'll start with the 1830 series. Now here you have partial PoE capabilities across our ranges from the 8 to 48 gig ranges available. So only half of the ports giving you that PoE capability. As you move up to the 1930, the biggest difference that you have there is full PoE. So all of the ports giving you that PoE capability. We're having 4 1 to 10 gigabit Ethernet uplink ports as well within that range. Again, you're looking at ports from 8 to the 48 gigabit range with 370 watts of PoE available at the very top level. And finally, if switching could be sexy, this would be your 1960 range, our really top level of switching available. So here you have stacking capabilities, class 6 PoE with 600 watts available, an aggregator as well included within the family. So you can see within the range here that no matter your use case, from sort of the very lowest level, let's say a small home office, all the way up to perhaps a larger primary school, you really do have the switching range available with the access points to be able to support your use cases. Again, a very text-heavy slide, but just to show you that it will be coming out, and we do have plenty of content available that just goes into a little bit more detail as well from a technical perspective as to what I was saying. But, you know, very similar, starting from your very small home office all the way up to your sort of lower end of education boutique hotels. As the demand on your network increases, we do have the switching range available to support you. Now, a major benefit of what we do at HPE Aruba Networking is we do have a fantastic support options available. So there's a nice little table here that does cover the warranty and support that is available with the brand. So As you can see, I'll start with the access points. You do have a standard warranty of 2 years available with, for example, 90-day telephone support. However, if you are like me, which I currently very, very sadly have an ASOS delivery still on my floor from about 7-8 months ago, single man living in London, very, very useless that I haven't returned that, because I was trying to get in contact to return it and I didn't have any telephone support available, just speaking to robots, and it's incredibly frustrating. So for me, telephone support would have been vital. So if you did want to upgrade that level of support from standard warranty, we do have those foundation care packages available in 3 or 5 years, and you really see that it just upgrades that level of support. So for example, with the telephone support that I could have really used, you have that for the full period by which you've purchased your foundation care. Chat support, obviously your part replacement goes to next business day arrival, so really just upgrades the level that you need. From a switching perspective, again, the warranty is limited lifetime, and you can see the associated factors there. But if you did want to upgrade it, similar to the access points, you do have those 3 or 5 year options available. We would like to say it's the best tech support you will never need to use, but obviously just in case you do, then we do have those options available. Now, of course, the competition that we really see within this space, to give you an idea as to where it sits and who we come up against, are the following brands. So the likes of Ubiquiti, TP-Link, and Netgear. I just put this in here to show you how we sort of stack up versus them. So to start with Ubiquiti, you do have increased complexity with the brand there. So purchasing the likes of additional gateways, controllers, and also within the actual configuration of the network, there's sort of more, let's say, features that you can turn on and turn off that can actually increase the complexity of your management. So from an Instant On perspective, we like to keep it very simple, and the likes of adaptive radio management, client matching, smart mesh capabilities, all of that has already been pre-configured, so it really makes it as light touch and as simple for you to manage as a network specialist. Also, from that perspective as well, if you do have those additional controllers and those additional gateways, you have a greater total cost of ownership versus the Instant On technology. And not all of their access points simultaneously perform smart mesh capabilities and aren't Wi-Fi Alliance certified. So key feature of our APs from the slide that they have all been through the Wi-Fi Alliance and a certification. So you know you have the highest performing and reliable technology within the market. TP-Link, again, you do need a cloud-based controller where you would be paying a per device cloud license fee, where obviously the cloud portal from the Instant On perspective is included completely for free. Management, so on Instant On, your software updates happen automatically, so you're up to date with that dynamic environment and no security features are being mishapped. With TP-Link, that is not the case. So if you're not on the ball as a customer and you don't have that capability to go in and automatically update your software, that does leave you suspect to potential threats and challenges on your network. And the security features as well, you would need that additional cloud-based controller to access the industry standard security features, which come automatically with your Instant On technology. From Netgear perspective, there are multiple management subscriptions with Insight Premium and Insight Pro, which of course you don't need with the Instant On range. Their access points have consumer grade reliability, so haven't exactly been through the Wi-Fi Alliance certification on the highest performing access points around. And from a support perspective as well, they don't have the same capabilities in the warranty and support options that we showed in the previous slide. So we do have far more detail regarding this. It can go into more specific product details if you did want to compare the brands, but just as a very, very high level, those are just some of the key points as to where we play against the competition and as to how we like to overcome them. Now, if I go on to the next slide, because my mouse has stopped working. So obviously it's great, and I'm very biased that we obviously working for the organization that HPE Networking Instant On is the brand for you, but did obviously want to show to you guys some of the use cases that we have delivered with the Instant On range and the sort of it's not a specific verticalized focus. We like to think that the Instant On range can support you and provide a high performing network no matter what vertical or industry that you sit in. So you can see at the top there, ranging from professional offices to sport facilities to hospitality. But we did also want to include some of the key use cases that we have worked on. So to start, CVS, a leader in veterinary services practices, essentially will purchase your local veterinary practice and install the latest technology, deliver the latest training to ensure that they're delivering world-class veterinary services. They were initially looking at a enterprise in our enterprise range across their 500 sites across 3 different countries, but they had a limited budget as well at the time, and the enterprise range was over budget, but also over spec for the use case that they were looking at. I mean, if you think about it, the majority of your local veterinary practices are a couple of rooms. Perhaps you need an access point and a few switches. So they looked into our HPE Networking Instant On range, loved the network capabilities that were available, and we ended up deploying that across 450 of their sites across the 3 different countries, which they can manage simultaneously from our online cloud platform. So although we refer to small to medium businesses, you really do have that scale to go and resolve sort of the largest use cases. A more recent one, Crew Clothing. Again, if you think of perhaps your local Crew Clothing retail store, you're looking at one perhaps large room, again, one that only really needs a switch and a couple of access points to resolve perhaps your in-store Wi-Fi, but processing payments, so on and so forth. Again, went to the HPE Networking Instant On range, and we've deployed that across 190 of their sites and more that are coming as well as they expand their operations. So yeah, you really do have that opportunity to go and deliver those use cases. Pizza Hut, again, very similar, one I've probably been spending a bit too much time at, in all honesty, recently. But if you think they're local sort of delivery stores, they need to take orders, process orders, a couple of staff members in there, one room. Again, you don't need sort of the really, really high scale switch and a few access points. More than perfect, which is where that brand comes into play. And with the Instant On range, as we touched on at the start, you do have that 125 networking device limit, so way more capable with the devices that you can deploy per store. Just to highlight as well, because we have recently, I say recently, in the past year, gone through a brand change. So previously the brand was Aruba Instant On, and now we have moved to HPE Networking Instant On. So if you are seeing any differences between the two, they are the same brand, and we're just transitioning to HPE Networking Instant On. So you can see all of the new access points that have been delivered do have this new Instant On logo, but some of the switching that was there, the previous brand, you might see Aruba Instant On, but they all work simultaneously together. There's no difference, no changes within the hardware. It was simply just a difference in the aesthetics with the branding. So that was everything from a PowerPoint perspective. I did have as well available our portal, which I did just want to show you, which is the cloud portal that we referred to, which comes to completely for free. So this is my home network. So I live in London with a couple of mates from university. And so look, I only have the one site, and I would try and show it as best as possible. But this view here is where you would see the up to 500 sites availability. So let's say you've got 20 sites. You'd have all of your sites on here, which gives you an overview as to how the network is performing on your site. You can name your site, filter for it within the search button, and you can just really see from a very easy perspective all of the sites you're managing within the portal. If you want to look at it from a geographic perspective, you also have that available. So there you can see where we are currently living before we move. But yes, all of those views are available. So we'll jump in to the site where we're living at, and you can see very easy, very user-friendly overlook of the network software that we have available. So really being split up into 7 categories, which we can jump into one by one. So to start, we can look at the network health. As you can see, luckily, in general, the performance of the network that I've had at home has been incredibly healthy, at almost 100%. This giving you a 24-hour view if you did want to go into detail. As there's currently no one at home working on there and we don't have too much smart technology, you can see that there are currently no clients connected, but I'm running 2 networks on there, which I'll jump into in a bit more detail in the next category, and there are 3 devices connected on the network as well. If you did want to go in and check an event log, this is all of them that are there. So you can see multiple clients that were connecting successfully over when we were actually in the flat over the course of the past 24 hours. And you can go in and export those for further view outside of the portal if need be. So yeah, just a very simple, very friendly overlook as to what you have available on your network portal. If we hop back in and we go onto alerts, you can currently see that there are no alerts available, but if there were any, they would appear within this section. Again, I'd love to be able to show you the clients, but unfortunately, I don't have any on my home network at the moment, but it's really, really straightforward. Your clients would appear and come up. You can see and name all of your clients to make sure that you're happy with everything that's on the network. If there is a client that's on there that you haven't named, that you're not too familiar with, it's very, very simple. You simply go onto the client and there will be a red circle with a line through it, so like a block button. All you have to do is click that button, and within a couple of seconds, the device will head into this blocked section. If you go into a little bit more digging, try and find a bit more information, and you realize, perhaps it's my Echo device that I just haven't named or wasn't aware that was on there, it's very simple as just hitting the green tick, and that will unblock the device and will go back onto your network. But those security capabilities, very easy to touch in and manage at just the click of a button. And this watch list section again, if you have any star clients, key connected clients that you just want to hit, quickly pop to, very, very easy to go into that section. So let's hop into our actual networks. As you said, I can see that I'm currently running a wired and wireless network on my site. So if I jump into a little bit more detail in here, so you can see at the very top level an overview, the security level that you're running. So we touched on that WPA3 security levels on there, the password to my network, which I won't be sharing, but very, very easy overview. They've tried to do a lot of the high level configurations automatically, so it makes it as simple as possible for you as the user to go in and make changes specific to your network to tailor it, but without overcomplicating it and the time that it would take on your side. So you can see here we have some IP addressing that you can go into. If you want to adjust the radios for the specific access points on there, very easy to go and do that as well. Control, scheduling of the network as well, which is great, obviously, from a sustainability point of view. All of these options are available at just a click of a button, and you can see 3-4 options per section. Really, really easy, really straightforward to manage. So if I go back to Chatfield Road, if you wanted to create a network, again, very, very simple, few clicks of a button, go in, name the network, how it's going to be formed, and you can have your new network up and running within the space of a couple of minutes. So you can have 8 SSIDs per site as well. And if you did want to create that guest portal, we have the fantastic capabilities available here. You can go internally and adjust the page as you want with text, so on and so forth. But if you did want to go externally, again, very, very easy, very straightforward, and you can pick one of the options that are available there. So plenty of areas for you to go in and work on your network. I will leave that page and go back into the overview. You see the devices on the network. I have a switch and a couple of access points, which again, you can go in and see additional details on each particular device that's available. So here I'm looking at my 1960 switch, which you can go in and view the details, make changes, change the name, so on and so forth, how much power that it's using, what are the applications that are running through from an access point perspective on the other devices, so on and so forth. It's just really, really, really easy. You can go in and adjust the ports. the management, security, so on and so forth. Really, really easy, really, really straightforward. To a couple of words I continue to use because it really, really is that simple. Finally, from an applications point of view, you can see the categories of applications that have been running on our network over the past 24 hours. So you can see everything from web, go in and click in there, what was sorted, the sites, the most used applications. You can see Microsoft being one of them there, which devices were using that, so if they were connected on the client perspective, so on and so forth. As you can see here, luckily no adult content, which is good from the flats perspective. But yeah, really, really easy. Social networks, see a lot of time being spent on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. So it just gives you a high level overview of everything that you want to see on your network. If you did want to go and let's say block a specific application, like block 18 plus content, really, really easy to go and do that within this policy section. Again, a few clicks of a button, create policy, applications, and then simply it's just unticking adult content and doing block. And again, just really, really easy, really straightforward. So if you have any perhaps children accessing your network from a school perspective, and you don't want gaming or adult content or so on and so forth, few clicks of a button, it is really just that simple. You can have, if I go back onto the site from a management perspective, multiple management accounts that are on there. And again, if you want to add people's roles on there, so as you can see, I'm an admin of on my network, which means that I can do absolutely everything on there. But if you wanted, let's say, perhaps a school principal just to be able to see the network but not make any changes, very easy. You can go in and add an email and then give him a specific role. So viewer, just simply looking at the network. Delegate, you get a little bit more access. Operator, creating sites, so on and so forth. It just increases your level of capability that you can use dependent on what you select. So really easy. Software updates do happen automatically. They will happen within a week of being released, but the standard automatic update time is Sunday at 3 a.m. because that's obviously most likely. But say for some random reason, let's take an example of a school again, you're running a camping trip or a charity event or so on and so forth, and for some reason you need the network Sunday at 3 a.m. and you don't want it to go down, then you can very easily go in and change the policies there as to what time you want that to be achieved. And any support available, again, you can either go through this section here or head into our support there. So that is essentially everything at a very high level. I know it's a quick whiz through, but the portal is there to be as simple as possible. The majority of the configurations are already done automatically to make it as simple for you. And then you can see the high level changes that you can go in and make there. So all the sides, and if you need any further demos, we can do definitely after on another call. But yeah, welcome any questions.
Good. Thanks, Ollie. Really appreciate that. Yeah, as Ollie said, if there's any questions, we'll take them in a second. And just to let everyone know that we will follow this up. This has all been recorded, so we can send it on and you can pass it around your organizations to anyone that maybe hasn't seen the presentation. Katrina, is there any questions that have been pushed through for myself or Ollie?
Yeah, there's a few questions have popped up. What are the future plans? The future plans for expansion of for Instant On?
It's a good question.
I'll give you that one, Ollie.
Yeah, it's a good question. I wouldn't be able to share from a device point of view. However, what I can say is that over the past 5 years, the Instant On brand has just really gone from strength to strength. If you look at its initial starting point, it was a 25 networking device limit, right? That then increased up to 50 networking device limit, and now it's at 125. So you can really see the progression it's been making. It was really, really just looking at the smallest S of SMB, and is now going up to being able to serve sort of primary schools at the top level, but large boutique hotels. So the brand is continuing to develop. There are constant changes that are coming through. Recently, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E within the wireless side of the portfolio. It's a brand that will continue to make advances. The specific ones, I probably won't be able to share, but perhaps can go into a bit more detail offline. But yeah, it is top of mind. It's a key focus point for the brand, and yeah, there'll definitely be more stuff coming in the future.
Brilliant, brilliant. Got another one here. What solutions do Amillan offer for larger companies that might not be suitable for Instant On? I guess that's another HP answer there. Do you want to take that one, Kevin?
Yeah, no, I can do. Yeah. So today really has been with Ollie covering probably what I've always seen as a bit of a gap in the market, looking at the sort of lower end, and Ollie did show some of the competitiveness of the product and where we're trying to compete. But as a managed service provider, we work both with the Instant On solutions and also with the HPE enterprise solutions. So we've got some very, very large deployments, as I said, probably when I opened this morning, with across some large corporates and some large high-end top Russell Group universities as well. So yeah, we covered right across the piece, and we work very closely with HPE, both at the Instant On and also at the enterprise space as well.
Brilliant. Another similar question. Can you detail the ongoing management and support services provided by Amillan?
Right, I'll take that one again, I think. Yeah, so in reality, when I discussed about our capabilities earlier, I talked about that we're not a massive organization, and we work very closely with our key vendors. The key thing for me is that we have our Amillan Support Center, which is a 24/7 support capability, what we realistically know as network operating centers. We have engineers geographically placed around the UK, and we also have that remote capability, no matter whether it is, looking at the tools that Ollie's shown us today around the always on, or looking at some of the central management platforms today on the enterprise space. The key thing is, we can do anything from a 24/7 support, to something which is more around a traditional Monday, Friday, 9 to 5. And we can match the SLAs to meet depending on the type of sector and the type of service. As you know, a hotel is a completely different type of setup to maybe a corporate business, where a hotel, a room is always on. You can't sell if something doesn't work in a room. That's revenue loss to that hotelier. So, that tends to be more 24/7 type environment. So yes, we can bespoke, our contracts and our support services to meet, your individual customer requirements.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. I think that was an excellent session.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it, or I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll follow up and send out to the recordings and slideware.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
No problem. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.